watching CBS 5 News at 11, winner of the Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence.
Good evening. The top 5 stories are coming up. We begin with the Weather Authority forecast right off the top. Meteorologist Violet Skyber is in and looking ahead to Tuesday right now.
And we're looking ahead to another winter-feeling morning. Temperatures are going to be dropping from the lower 30s into the mid-20s, but there will be a light breeze that continues through the overnight and into the morning, making it feel a few degrees colder than the actual temperatures. So actually feeling like the lower 20s to upper teens at some times. So definitely dress for winter, whether you're heading out tonight or early tomorrow morning for that commute. We're still dealing with some light snow showers as we take a live look from our triple Doppler radar, sponsored by Charles Heating and Air Conditioning. They're slowly shedding away, though, from north to south, already drying out for the Tug Hill and the Adirondacks, and for Syracuse and areas south of the Thruway the next few hours. Overall, not expecting much in the way of accumulation, as some drier air drops in and this cold air as well. The snow showers taper off towards about sunrise, but we're really only expecting another coating of snow, if that. We'll be starting off with a partly sunny morning, temperatures in the 20s, climbing to the mid-30s with sunshine breaking out midday. Then the clouds will quickly roll back in for the afternoon, highs in the lower 40s and nice light winds for tomorrow. We're looking ahead to even warmer temperatures for the middle of the week, but winter does return once again, along with the risk of snow. Stay tuned for the full forecast.
Thank you, Violet. Just after 11, here are the top 5 stories on CBS 5 News. The jury is seated in the trial of a former mid-state correctional officer charged in the beating death of inmate Messiah Nantwi. Jonah Levi faces a charge of second-degree murder, first-degree manslaughter, and gang assault. On the panel, 10 men, 2 women. 3 alternates were also chosen. If Levi is convicted, he faces 25 years to life in prison. Today in Albany, the state Senate revealed new details about what it wants to see in this year's budget, setting aside $1.6 billion to expand universal pre-K statewide. The proposal also includes $395 million for universal school meals and local farm purchasing. $285 million to improve English education for second language students and more. Tonight, State Senator Chris Ryan, who represents Oswego as well as the northwest and eastern suburbs of Syracuse, says the Senate plan will deliver real support for high needs districts, making sure students can get to school safely, expand access to meals, and open the door to higher education. The far left believes those things should be paid for with new taxes on billionaires. The Fayetteville Manlius Dance Marathon raised a record-breaking total this year, almost $168,000 to be donated to Camp Good Days and Special Times, a nonprofit serving families impacted by cancer and sickle cell anemia. This year's fundraising effort beat the goal set by the students. An unusual estate sale happens this weekend in Syracuse. The contents of the Gminski-Wysocki Funeral Home on West Genesee Street go up for sale. Inside there are antique chairs, lighting, religious statues, curtains, and more. The owner of the company in charge of the sale says he wants to pay the most respect possible for the business. The estate sale is this Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the funeral home. Former Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin has been confirmed as the next Secretary of Homeland Security, replacing Kristi Noem. Mullin showed some flashes of anger during the Senate hearings. He's a former mixed martial artist, and 2 years ago he threatened to fight the president of the Teamsters Union on the floor of Congress in the middle of a hearing. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman cast the deciding vote in the committee, opening the door to the Senate confirmation. Downtown Syracuse's Clinton Square has been the heart of late summer, late spring, and summer in the city for years now, hosting some of the biggest events that bring in tens of thousands of people. But a year from this summer, it will all be different. City leaders say work on the 81 project will impact the Clinton Square area. Today, the Syracuse Common Council approved millions to start preparing the Inner Harbor for those festivals come the summer of 2027, next summer. And that decision raises questions about whether the festivals will move back downtown after they relocate next year. CBS 5's Gary Robinson Jr. reports.
For decades, Clinton Square has been the centerpiece of summer in Syracuse, home to events like the Taste of Syracuse and Jazz Fest, drawing huge crowds downtown. But during a common council meeting last week, the city's Parks and Recs commissioner said that may not be possible in 2027.
So Clinton Square will not be in use in 2027. The 81 project will kind of take over that area. We will not be able to run festivals like we are used to. So we need a space. We need a space to continue the festivals, and this could be our space.
The plan moved those events to the Inner Harbor and Progress Park. On Monday, the Common Council unanimously approved more than $3 million in upgrades to make that possible.
Please call the roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those upgrades focus on safety, including new railings and repairs, before large events can be held there.
This plan allows us to create new accessibility options so people of all abilities could use the Inner Harbor. It allows for kids can't stick their bodies through the railings and fall in the water, unlike right now, which are just wires.
City leaders say the move is necessary, but it could also change the future of these events. Common Councilor Jimmy Monto, who also runs one of the city's largest festivals, says the space may already be a better fit.
The only place big enough to hold those festivals, other than a strange parking lot somewhere on city property, the Inner Harbor is the only other place that's big enough to accommodate.
City officials are still waiting on a final construction timeline, which will determine how long Clinton Square could be impacted. City leaders also say a move to the Inner Harbor is about keeping the festivals going during that associated 81 construction downtown. New details tonight: the Liverpool School District facing a more than $12 million budget gap, and school officials say there will be tough decisions ahead.
We do owe the district and our students the responsibility of maintaining and having a sustainable and stable budget. So in order to do that, we do have to make some hard decisions, some thoughtful decisions, because we want to make sure that we are providing the best opportunities for our students in the future.
At a meeting tonight, district officials went department by department, pointing to potential cuts coming with this new budget. The proposed solution to close the budget gap involves cutting the equivalent of 83 full-time positions, a 3.3% increase to the tax levy, and pulling about $12.5 million from the district's reserves, or its rainy day fund. Now the latest on the crises impacting American travelers. The partial government shutdown enters a 6th week, and with it comes long lines, frustration, and missed flights across the country. Today we spent time at Hancock Airport to hear directly from travelers about how it's impacting them. Things may look normal at the Syracuse airport, but for many, the real delays are happening at the larger connecting airports.
Today was a little interesting. My flight was boarding around 6 a.m. I thought that I was going to be fine getting there around 5. I probably waited in line for about 45 minutes. I usually get through that line at about 10.
Smaller airports like ours rely on those busier hubs for connections where the delays can quickly stack up. And while some travelers are considering driving instead, AAA says higher travel demand is pushing costs up across the board. Whether you're flying or driving, travelers are being urged to plan ahead and expect the unexpected.
I flew into Atlanta last night. I've never in my life seen anything so terrible and such chaos at an airport before. But it's shocking. It really is shocking. It doesn't feel like the airports have been prepared for this.
That's Clint Henderson, the travel expert with The Points Guy. He says airlines don't have to compensate you if you miss your flight, but they will likely put you on the next available flight. He says to book your trips with a credit card that offers trip delay and cancellation protection. And it's critical when you're at the airport to have a backup plan. Know which other flights are available at your airport or another one in your region. Breaking news tonight, a family member has identified one of the pilots killed in the Air Canada plane crash late yesterday. His name is Anton Faure. He lived south of Montreal. He was 30 years old. A relative told the Toronto Star newspaper that he started flying small planes before moving up to Air Canada. Also identified a survivor, Solange Tremblay, a flight attendant from Quebec, who was still strapped to her seat when first responders found her. After the plane collided with a fire truck on the runway at LaGuardia, she was ejected more than 300 feet. She will undergo surgery to repair multiple fractures to her leg. Her daughter told reporters that her mother was sitting directly behind the two pilots. Both of them died. New video shows the members of the flight crew exiting the hospital in New York City today. A preliminary analysis shows the jet collided with a Port Authority fire truck at 104 miles per hour. Initial reports indicated 41 passengers and crew went to the hospital. The Port Authority says 32 have been released. Officials say the fire truck was on the runway to respond to another incident with another plane. As we continue tonight, March is American Red Cross Month in Syracuse, and you'll find out who's making a difference for all of us.
For us to continue to come to Connecticut year after year after year is, to me, it's a personal attack.
After an historic blowout, the SU women's basketball coach wants to play someone else.
And a live look from our Stanley Law Skywatch Adirondack Furniture camera. A night feeling like winter, and it's going to be a chilly start to the day tomorrow, so dress for it. Temperatures in the mid-20s, but at least we'll get some sun returning for the middle of the day. Lower 40s in the afternoon, but looking to get even warmer over the next couple of days. I'll show you just how high we get and our next risk to see strong thunderstorms coming up in the forecast.
The city of Syracuse declares March American Red Cross Month, that proclamation to honor those who step up and take care of each other. Red Cross Month began during World War II as a national call to action to address growing humanitarian needs. Now it's become tradition. Officials say the organization is all about the people who make a difference in our communities.
We bring hope to people that are in their darkest days. You know, they are hit with some kind of disaster. It could be man-made, it could be, from Mother Nature. And as soon as they see that, they know that there's somebody there to help them, that will respond to them and recover with them to help them along their path.
The Red Cross flag is now flying in front of Syracuse City Hall. And we turn to the Weather Authority forecast, and Violet is in with the high temperatures. This is just broken. It's broken. Well, somebody turns it up, somebody turns it down, somebody turns it up, somebody turns it down.
In a way, yes, but honestly, I'm not mad about the middle of the week.
No, Thursday will be great.
It is going to feel so nice, especially after today when we didn't make it out of the 30s. Tomorrow, even some relief. We'll be in the lower 40s, back to average for this time of year. Then we're up to 50 on Wednesday, 60s on Thursday. That's about 20 degrees above where we should be this time of year. But winter does return, and this is because of a strong weather system that'll roll through on Thursday, dropping our high temperatures behind it back into the 30s for Friday and Saturday. But it might not stay that way. As we head into Sunday and next week, things could warm back up again. For tonight and what we saw today, some cold air is still funneling in from the north. We've got this coastal low that's been bringing us some light snow showers, extra clouds, but behind it, some drier air builds in for tomorrow. We'll actually see some sun for the late morning to midday hours before a warm front rolls through. This is what will bring us some milder temperatures, but it also brings some thicker clouds for tomorrow. But looking to stay dry for the most part, at least until Wednesday. That's when a powerful system on the West Coast that's just now beginning to develop and move into Washington and Oregon is going to stretch across the northern half of the country and bring us a warm front first and then a cold front for Thursday. And you saw that in our temperatures. So timing this out, starting with tonight, a live look from our triple Doppler radar, sponsored by Charles Heating and Air Conditioning. Snow showers are slowly tapering off from north to south. We're already dry up across the north country. Still some light snow for Syracuse areas along I-81 and to the west. But notice the snow is super light. And this will be tapering off over the next couple of hours. Overall, an extra coating of snow, if that. Temperatures are still right around freezing, so a lot of this will be melting once it hits the ground. Over the next few hours, by about 3 in the morning, the snow should be totally done, and we'll even see more breaks in the cloud cover. There will be some lingering lake effect clouds in the morning, but overall, a decent amount of sunshine. We'll be starting off the day in the mid-20s, mid-30s at lunchtime, and that's when these upper level clouds begin to build in along that warm front, becoming thicker through the afternoon and mostly cloudy. Highs reach the lower 40s in the afternoon and then slowly dip into the 30s in the evening. Chance for a few flurries along the warm front in the evening, but not expecting any accumulation from that. Overall, only bottoming out around 30 degrees by sunrise on Wednesday and getting even warmer as I showed you. So the warm front that'll bring us these milder temperatures slides in with some extra clouds for Wednesday. Dry during the daytime, but towards the evening is when we could see some spotty showers. It's the backside of this system that we're watching for Thursday. We'll actually get some sun breaking out midday, but that's going to fire up this cold front that slides through during the evening hours on Thursday. We're watching this for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms and then some really chilly air behind it, along with snow showers that could be developing for early on Friday. Overall, though, the biggest impact from this system will be that cold front in the evening, so we'll be watching that for severe storms. Becoming chilly as we head into the weekend, dropping to the 30s for Friday and Saturday. Few lake effect flurries in the morning. A weak system bringing some light snow showers Saturday, then drying out Sunday and could be warming back up into the 50s for next week. Michael?
Thank you, Violet. The Supreme Court is considering new restrictions on the right to vote, and it could impact thousands of active duty service members. Christine Frizzau brings us new perspective tonight.
The Supreme Court taking up an issue near and dear to the president's heart.
Mail-in ballots. They're so corrupt. We should know the result of the election on November 3rd.
That year, 2020, as the country was in the midst of the COVID pandemic, the election was not declared until 4 days after Election Day. The central question before the justices now: should ballots that arrive after Election Day be allowed to be counted, even if they're postmarked by Election Day? Mississippi's Solicitor General says yes.
States have allowed that for over a century. Congress has respected it. No one challenged it until now. The question is whether Congress in 1845 blocked that practice. The answer is no.
14 states, plus Washington, D.C., as well as the territories of Guam, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands accept late arriving ballots. A practice lawyers for the Republican National Committee and the Trump administration say should be banned.
I would say that the day of the election is it's the last day in which all the ballots are cast and they are received into official custody.
Of the 6 conservative justices, all of them seemed skeptical of a grace period.
Confidence in election outcomes can be seriously undermined if the apparent outcome of the election on the day after the polls close is radically flipped by the acceptance later of a big stash of ballots that flip the election.
The 3 liberal justices raising concerns about ballots received from those serving in the U.S. military, also citing the long history of counting them after Election Day and the lack of federal laws prohibiting it.
Congress just said whatever the state has decided with regard to ballot receipt deadlines is going to apply here, correct?
And that's been the case for 180 years, Your Honor.
A decision on this case is expected sometime in June or July, with some already worried the outcome could be disruptive, less than 6 months before the midterm elections. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
42 restaurants competing for the best burger in New York State, and many of them are in central New York. Next in sports, Syracuse women's basketball competing in the second round of the tournament tonight. We have the best plays, and the coach has a lot to say. Next.
Syracuse women's basketball faced its toughest test of the season tonight in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Welcome into sports. I'm Ashley Wenskowski. The 9-seeded Orange took on top-seeded UConn for a chance to advance to the Sweet 16. Syracuse faced a familiar path with each of its last 3 matchups against UConn coming in the round of 32. Tonight's result, though, was unlike anything Syracuse has ever seen. The Huskies jumped out to a 25-point lead at the end of the first quarter, just 10 minutes in. And then an unanswered 31-point scoring run allowed UConn to end the first half with a staggering 53-point lead over the Orange. It was 65-12. But the star of the show was UConn guard Ozzie Fudd, who had 26 points at halftime, more than double SU's
team total. The Orange just had no answer for the Huskies. Syracuse suffers its worst NCAA tournament loss in program history, and its season ends with a 98-45 defeat in the second round. It's SU's third straight tournament run that ends at the hands of the Huskies. The Orange have lost 28 straight to UConn, dating back to 1996. Head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack had a passionate response post-game. She believes her team deserves better in terms of seeding.
For us to continue to come to Connecticut year after year after year is, to me, it's a personal attack. I just want the young people that's in my locker room to have a fighting chance. And I am grateful to be in the NCAA tournament from where we've come from, but I think that we've earned the right to go anywhere outside of a 4-hour radius.
Now, despite today's loss, this season was a big turnaround from a year ago. Syracuse finished the year with 24 wins. That's double the amount it had in 2025. Coach Jack also said afterwards that she's excited to push women's basketball forward with the help of a new SU administration. Over to the men's side of the ball, former Syracuse players are reacting to the reported hire of Jerry McNamara as the team's next head coach. Today, former SU guard Eric Devendorf told us that GMAC knows how to get the best out of his players.
He has that rare gene to where he can get guys to really buy in to what he's saying, you know, and really motivate guys and inspire guys. I've seen it, you know, I've seen it when he was assistant coach at Syracuse when I was on staff. It was plenty of times when with Coach Boeheim, he would let GMAC run the meeting and run the film, you know, and he didn't skip a beat. You know, guys were locked in just like it was if it was Coach Boeheim.
While the hire has still not been made official by the university, we expect it to be in the coming days. Devendorf also told us today that if there's an opportunity to join McNamara's SU staff, he would be open to it. For more on that, you can listen to this week's episode of the Orange Zone podcast, out now on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Michael.
Thank you, Ashley. Coming up, our Brandon Roth takes us to Ale and Angus in Syracuse, where the hunt for the state's best burger continues. Voting underway right now to find New York State's best burger. Of the 42 nominees, several of them, 18, are from Central New York. Here's CBS 5's Brandon Roth.
Well, that's right. There can only be one. And when it comes to the Beef Council's best burger competition, here you go. Ale and Angus, one of the all-time 7-time reigning champion. We're back here again, Matt Beach. And Matt, you've always have some special burger, and this year is no exception. What do you got?
Nope. So we have our Rodeo Wrangler here, 8-ounce Angus burger, brisket bacon, 3-cheese blend, onion straws, and our house barbecue on a Deloro's onion roll.
You mix sweet and savory, and this burger here is an example.
Yep, this one's an example. So it has the habanero bacon jam on it. It's got a little sweet, got a little heat, a little salt, and also on a Deloro's soft roll.
So a different texture, but you're a big texture contrast guy. That's been successful.
You got to have texture, and on this particular one, there's crispy bacon pieces that are on it, so that texture does come through.
Let's talk about the New York Beef Council's Best Burger Competition. It's the 10th year, and it's been a big success. Central New York has done really well with the restaurants here.
Oh yeah. We have like 18 nominations. That's huge out of 40. It means half the burger competitions is here in Central New York. So we do have many restaurants where you can go and get a fantastic burger from here to Central Square to Brewerton to North Syracuse. All over.
And you'd encourage people you have through April to have fun and go out and try them all.
Try them all, and then go to nybeef.org, cast your vote for your favorite burger, and be a part of the game, you know?
And if you want to vote for your favorite burger, you have until April 10th, and the best burger will be named in May. At Ale and Angus, Brandon Roth reporting.
We have the top stories and the forecast. The nightcap is coming up.
We'll slowly get warmer over the next few days after highs only reach the 30s today. Tomorrow we climb into the 40s. A nice dry day with some midday sun before afternoon clouds. High of 50 on Wednesday, mostly cloudy, dry during the daytime. Couple of spotty showers during the evening to overnight. A better chance for rain Thursday afternoon and evening as a line of thunderstorms rolls through. Ahead of that, pretty warm, high of 62 and windy conditions. On Friday, on the backside of this system, becoming chilly in the 30s, couple of morning flurries, another batch of snow Saturday, and then warming back up next week. Michael?
Thanks, Violet. A Syracuse man under arrest in the Rochester area. Authorities there say Ramel Bell Scott followed a St. John Fisher University employee towards campus, then made unwanted physical contact with her. He's charged with forcible touching, stalking, and public lewdness. He also, authorities say, had an active warrant out of the Syracuse area for criminal mischief. Tonight, the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office Air 1 helicopter responding to a call about a dog in the middle of the Seneca River near Baldwinsville. When authorities got to the scene, there was a golden doodle struggling to stay above water. The crew successfully pulled the dog from the river into the helicopter, the dog taken to a field where the fire department was waiting with blankets. And that is CBS 5 News at 11. Tonight, I'm Michael Benny. The news starts back up at 5 a.m. on CBS 5 this morning.